Alright, so I got the exhaust stuff all sandblasted. I'm going to paint it up, and then it'll be ready to go on. I do need to weld some cracks. There's just like some little heat cracks. There's one right along here. There's one on the back side. There's that one there. And then around this muffler, there's a couple right in there. So I'll get those welded up, get everything painted up, and then they'll be ready to go on. And then the clutches, I still need to take those apart and clean them up really well. So you'll see me do that after I paint. Okay, so both the primary and the secondary clutches are clean and put back together. They were both very dirty. Basically, you just go through and, well, I just got some dirt on that, but you go through and once you take it apart, you just want to make sure everything's really clean. You can use like a 4/0 steel wool or a really fine Scotch-Brite, and I just use solvent. And then I hose everything out with brake clean afterwards just because it dries faster. Same thing on this, just take it all apart, clean it all up. We got those back together. You just want to make sure that you mark them. These ones are marked with an X already, and then there's an X on the this fork piece in here. I don't know what you call it, but I still like to scribe a line on them. And then on this one, on the secondary, I scribed a line on it across the two as well, just so in that way when you're putting it back together, they've got to be, I mean, close. They're not, but that way when you put it back together, everything is still where it should be as far as being balanced as an assembly. So those are back together. All the exhaust is painted. So I'm gonna start reassembling the sled, get all that stuff put on, get the airbox put on, get the coolant ports put on, and then the seat can go on next. So let's get started. Okay, so here goes the first time trying to start this. I'm gonna pull it over. I've got the battery in, got all that exhaust hooked up, got coolant in it. I just dumped 4 gallons of fresh gas in. I did 30-to-1 mix in it on this tank, so I'm gonna try to start it up and see what happens. Okay, so it's not starting. I don't have any spark. It's getting late. and I have to work in the morning again, so I'll start troubleshooting that another day. I think it's probably the ignition control module, or there's got to be something goofy there, because I've already checked all the connections, everything's plugged in correctly, all the grounds are hooked up, so I tried running some redundant grounds and that didn't help anything, so I'm gonna have to start troubleshooting that at another time. I'm gonna say it's most likely that ignition control module, but I will find out. Okay, so after lots of chasing wires around, I finally got it to fire up. It's got some wires that need fixed, but it does fire up now, so I'll do a quick startup on it, and then I'll have to fix all these wires. Alrighty guys, so the sled is all put back together and done. The way that, so what happened was I had to redo some wiring for the ignition switch and fix some fuel pump wires that had, for some reason, previously had melted. So I fixed those. And then this is all back together now. Clutches are all on, belts on, all the exhaust is on. So everything's back together now. I'm running 30-to-1 gas right now, and it's gonna smoke a lot on startup just because of the extra oil I used during engine assembly, the extra 2-stroke oil on the bearings and on the piston, on the cylinder wall. It's all back together. It's dark outside, so I'm not gonna really be able to video, but I'll get a video this weekend during the day of me riding it. I'm gonna take it out for a good test run now. I finished all this up last night at, well, I guess early this morning at 2 o'clock this morning. I finished it, and then I got up and went to work, and so now I'm home and I'm gonna give her a test ride, and then I'm going to I'll give a good ride on it this weekend as well. I'm super excited about the way that this thing turned out. It's been a really fun build. I'm excited to ride it, see how it runs now that it's got new bearings and everything. This motor is 20 over. As I had said previously, it's got new pistons, new bottom end, new crank bearings and such. So we'll see how this thing runs. I've never actually ridden this sled, so I bought it and pulled the engine out of it and put it in that black snowmobile that I pulled it back out of, because this thing had a bunch of wiring issues that I didn't fix. Instead, I just took the engine out of it and put it in my other one. But we'll see how it runs. I'm super excited to get this thing out and see what we can do. Hopefully not blow it up. So we'll do a little rip on it. I'll do a little startup here for you guys, and then from there I'm gonna take it outside and ride it. So here goes a little startup. It's gonna be really smoky, but we'll get it fired up here. sure do sound good. Nothing sounds better than a triple. These things are freaking cool. I'm super excited to get out and run it. So I'm gonna go ride. I'll get some good video this weekend in the daylight. Okay guys, today is the day I'm gonna get this sled out. It is starting to get pretty warm outside, so I'm gonna ride for a little bit and we'll try to go get some good video of riding. So let's see how this goes. I rode a couple nights ago and it ran great. I rode for 3 hours or so, didn't have any issues. I rode the night before that for a short period of time and kind of double checked everything, so should be good to go today and just get out and ride for a while, kind of one last time as the snow's starting to melt a little bit, so we'll see what happens.